Welcome to Mirror Domains Movie News for February 1st, 2022. Guys, on today's show, we're going to be talking about Loki Season 2. Schwarzenneger as Zeus? Really? What's that all about? Snow White responds. We'll talk about this story once again. Ryan Reynolds has a new Adam project out where he faces off with his younger self. The Batman box office projections are supposed to be high. Is this a story? I don't know, but some people are talking about it. Creed 3 Begins. Hocus Pocus 2 gets its release date, sort of. We'll talk about some assorted TV headlines. Tom Brady retires. We'll round that out with some Twitter roundup. And we'll take a look today at a trailer for something called After Yang. We saw that a poster was released for that yesterday. So that's the way that it's going to be today. And if there's any comments that you guys want to talk about, any news stories, let me know in the live chat, because we'll talk about it there once we get through some of these stories today. Guys, if you don't know how this works, I just turn on the camera, look at what's trending out there in the realm of movie and entertainment news. And the purpose is to try to build up a nice little audience for you guys. So if you're watching us live, we do this daily, 12 p.m. Eastern, every day, Monday to Friday. And if you guys are watching this afterwards, welcome. And I hope you enjoy us and join us tomorrow for the daily live stream. And that's how this works, guys. Okay, with that being said, it is about time to get into today's news stories. Loki is getting a season 2. Did you like the first season of Loki? Well, you're in luck, because season 2 is to begin filming in summer of 2022, taking place at Pinewood Studios in June. Okay, so this was brought to us by MovieWeb. Guys, I only watched up to the 4th episode of Loki, and then I kind of stopped. I need to finish watching it. I guess I need to watch 5 and 6. I sort of got the gist of where they were going with it. And I know it kind of ended on a cliffhanger in episode 4. But for me, it's just these things. I really liked the first couple of episodes of Loki, when they were talking about, does he like killing people and does he enjoy it? And I do like Lady Loki a lot. I thought that actress was fantastic. So maybe I need to go in and finish watching this season before I get hyped for season 2. But this article goes on to explain a little bit more into the theory as to what's going to happen afterwards. So if you want to read this, go over to MovieWeb, guys, and check this article out if you are a huge Loki fan, a Tom Hiddleston fan, maybe. Loki Season 2 is likely to further explore the multiverse. Well, of course, because we know that variants and all of that stuff is now going to be real, and now because of Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, we know that there's the multiverse is going to be there. So, which iterations are we going to see? Well, because Lady Loki is a variant herself, right? Loki Season 2 was confirmed by Disney back in July last year. But courtesy of an announcement that was made midway through the end credits of Season 1, the first image, Loki will return in Season 2. We knew that. But the second season of Loki will likely pick up right where this first season ends. Okay. Loki dropped into an alternate reality where his newfound friends, including Owen Wilson's Mobius, do not know who he is. All right. So we got a quote here from Tom Hiddleston himself. It raises questions of, well, maybe there are parallel or alternate universes, the actor said. Maybe there are other realities, and the possibilities there are endless. Well, yeah. I feel that at the end of episode 5, Loki and Sylvie are close to discovering the answers to the questions that they have of who is behind the TVA, and that somehow this will provoke even more curiosity about Loki Season 2. So, guys, Loki Season 2, that's all we got for right now. Starting filming in June at Pinewood Studios. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below what you thought about it, and we'll talk about it, because, yeah, Loki Season 2. Comment below. Good. I'm slowly learning all of my OBS settings. Are you an Arnold Schwarzenegger fan? I totally am. I love Arnold's movies, especially from the 80s. They're so classic. He's gone to his Instagram to tease a story. Mystery Zeus project coming in February. Well, what could that possibly be? Guys, I'm guessing, and this article over on MovieWeb says that it's most likely just going to be something for the halftime show at the Super Bowl, where hopefully the Bengals will win over the LA Chargers, because that's a good underdog story. But Arnold is always he's a mensch. He's always a good guy to always get behind things and have fun with things. And if he's going to be playing Zeus in some kind of just fun little advertisement for something, I think that's fantastic. Coming February 2022, Arnold Schwarzenegger is Zeus. And it's probably going to be for a car, or maybe for some hemorrhoid cream or something. Who knows? Zeus, played by Schwarzenegger. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below, and we'll talk about it. Snow White was in the news recently, left for the last weeks, because of Peter Dinklage saying that it was a little bit of a backwards project, that in these days and times it's not very PC to make stories about dwarves living in caves. And, we went through all of that last week. But now, Snow White, yesterday we reported this too, that Rachel Zegler addressed the casting controversy. And while I read you the quotes for it, Snow White remake star addresses the casting controversy. It came to my attention last night that this is actually pretty smart. And while the quote I'll read to you is going to be fairly obvious now that I know what it's about, it's a redirect. They're just trying to redirect the bad press from last week. And she's just trying to bring the focus back on Snow White. That's all she's trying to do with this. And I felt like it's something that... we need to figure these things out. But her quote says, "Never in a million years did I imagine that this world would be a possibility for me. You don't normally see Snow White that are of Latin descent. Even though Snow White is a big deal in Spanish-speaking countries, Bianca Nieves is a huge icon." Is that what the heck is Bianca Nieves? I'm sorry, guys. Got to turn off that ad. Whether you're talking about the Disney cartoon or just different iterations and the Grimm fairy tale, all of the stories that come with it, but you don't particularly see people who look like me or who are playing roles like that, or are me playing roles like that. When it was announced, it was a huge thing that was trending on Twitter for days because all the people were angry over a Latino Snow White. No. I think, well, of course. Yes, there were some prejudiced people out there that were complaining about it, but I think most people were just concerned that because she didn't do that much work beforehand, could she carry a film like this? That's where if I had any concerns, I didn't really have any concerns because I don't care. But it is what it is. She was in West Side Story, one of the Spielberg movies that came out last year. So if he's got trust in her, she's going to make it. But this quote, all this is really trying to do is just redirect the bad press. And I think it's doing a good job at doing that. We need to love them in the right direction. And at the end of the day, I have a job to do, and I'm really excited to do. I get to be a Latina princess. So that's what the Snow White story is about. It's just a really good redirect at the bad press about all the dwarves that came out all last week and such. And that's what the Snow White story is about. Ryan Reynolds has a new project out in which he will face his younger self in something called the Adam Project. Okay, so are they going to de-age him? What's going on here? The Adam Project photos. Is that Zoe Saldana? Cool. Hey, what's this? Is there a log line? Cool. The log line reads, "A wounded time traveler from 2050 who has ventured into the past on a rogue rescue mission to search for Laura," Saldana there, The woman he loves, who got lost in the time-space continuum under mysterious circumstances. When Adam's ship gets damaged, he's sent spiraling back to 2022, and the only place he knows from his era of his life, home. So he'll see the younger version of himself back in 2022, our year now. Okay, so what's this being brought to us by? It's being brought to us by Netflix. Okay, well, it's being directed by Sean Levy, if you know who that is. And we got some set photos. Are we going to see anything from him in a younger self? I don't know. Let's just take a look at maybe exploding some of these pictures. Oh, Mark Ruffalo's in this? Cool. So the Hulk facing off against Deadpool. So is that his younger self there? Doesn't look like he's de-aged. They just brought in a younger actor. Okay. And there's Saldana. Saldana. And it looks like it's a fairly straightforward sci-fi act. Ooh, she's in this. Cool. Why can't I remember your name? You were married to Ben Affleck. Why didn't you tell me that in the normal story as well? Jennifer Garner. All right. So they've got a lot of photos here. So that means they should have a trailer for this out pretty soon too. There's some behind the scenes of them on a obvious set. Now they're out in some actual practical sets. But still, no trailer. The Adam Project is time hopping to Netflix globally March 11th. So we got a release date for The Adam Project on Netflix, starring Ryan Reynolds, Zoe Saldana, Mark Ruffalo, and Jennifer Garner. A time-traveling, interesting sci-fi story. What do you think about that, guys? Does that tickle your fancy? It's going to be on Netflix, so that'll give some people pause, but it doesn't me. I take Netflix for what it is. You just got to, sometimes there's going to be a few clunkers in there. But if you're a Ryan Reynolds fan, I think you will be looking out for that for sure. All right, guys, let's continue on with looking at some more movie news by looking at what... okay. The Batman is going to be projected to be one of the biggest box office movies of this year. Well, no doubt that it's going to be. I mean, come on, everybody is talking about the Batman, and I don't know why this story came up today, actually, to tell you the truth, because every time I was looking for this, I Googled it, and unless it's coming from a personal source from somebody, it's not trending. I didn't burp there, by the way. Let's talk about the potential big box office for the Batman. Variety had this article out last month where they kind of forecasted some of the possibilities. So let's begin our journey here. And this is where we'll get some of the idea of where this big box office is coming from. What looks strong for it? Comic book adventures have essentially been pandemic proof. Yeah, Spider-Man, not so much. The Eternals, Black Widow, Shang-Chi did well. Causes for concern, dark Joaquin Phoenix, a devilish turn in Joker demonstrates that PC can go dark and can be proven possible. But why is that? But will audiences respond to a gritty, gruesome Dark Knight? Yeah, of course they will. Then Robert Pattinson alone will bring in a lot of the female crowd and some of the guy crowd there too. But, he photographs well. And he's matured into a really good actor. So, and everything that we've seen from the Batman so far has been spectacular. All of the photos and all the trailers, all the TV spots, all the posters. Oh, every day we're getting posters. We'll see that later on in the Twitter roundup. But why the Batman will avoid the B versus S box office failure? I only want to take a look at this because, hey, if we're going to talk about the box office, let's cover some of the things here. Was B versus S a box office failure? No, it wasn't. As much as people say that it was, no, it wasn't nearly as much as it should have been. It should have been, B versus S should have been $1 billion project, but Uh, the Snyderverse people are with me when they say that, yes, it should have been $1 billion. But it didn't strike the chords with the masses. And there's a quote from this article I wanted to read. The Batman is not set in the DCEU, and that's a little bit of a bonus for it, I guess, because it doesn't come with that clout, and is intended to initiate both a new trilogy of Batman movies and a shared universe. A shared universe with what? Oh, okay, so they're talking about how the Batman is going to be having a spin-off of the Penguin. There's a series coming with that, and there's talks that there's going to be a spin-off with Catwoman now. So that's what they mean by shared universe there. And of course, the Batman with Robert Pattinson is going to make, I think it's going to make $1 billion. Yeah. Now, it's not going to be No Way Home. It's not going to make 1.7, but it'll make $1 billion. The 3-hour runtime is going to hurt it a lot. It's going to hurt it a lot. Robert Pattinson reveals why his Bruce Wayne becomes Batman. And this will just help shape things for you guys to understand why it's going to make $1 billion. He's got this enormous trauma inside him, and he's built this intricate psychological mechanism to handle it. It's like a really, really, really bad self-therapy, which has ended up with him being Batman at the end as self-help. And, well, yeah, we can understand that's what the Batman is about. But I feel like those are some of the reasons, like that take on it came through so well in the trailers that the Batman here is, it's going to do well. It's going to knock the box office back into full steam again, getting ready for the summer releases, the spring releases. And I think that the Batman is most definitely going to do well at the box office for sure. Okay, guys, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Creed 3. Creed 3. Were you a fan of the Creed movies? I liked the first one. The second one was okay. I understand what they were doing with that. But Tessa Thompson starts Creed 3 filming with lots of behind-the-scenes images. And this installment of Creed is going to be directed by that guy right there. So, Michael B. Jordan. I didn't forget his name. Basically, she went on her social media, looks like it's her Instagram, to share a bunch of photos. Michael B. Jordan, I do like him in that role a lot. I think he's great. I guess this was on her stories because it didn't look like it was. Yeah, you can tell it's on her stories. And it's just her in her set costume. She's having a kid in the movie. Not like Rihanna posted pictures of herself the other day. Okay, so that's it. There's really not much more to say other than Creed 3 is underway. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Is it slated for any release date in here? Probably 2023. I don't see it coming out later this year if they're just starting it now. And let's move on. Producer Adam Shankman teases Hocus Pocus 2 fall premiere date. Fall premiere date. Okay. Well, we knew that it wrapped filming the other day from Bette Midler. She took to her social medias, and Adam Shankman here posted some art. And what does it say here? What does it say? Sisters, and that's a wrap. Coming to you, Halloween 2022. So it's going to be slated for the Halloween 2022, and they have to put it out for Halloween. Hocus Pocus 2, because it's a Halloween movie. The first one was, and it gets people in that Halloween mood, directed by Kenny Ortega. Okay, and it's going to see all the cast return, or at least the witches. So Hocus Pocus 2, are you excited about that? Let me know in the comments below. Let's get through some TV movie news, or some TV news series here. Let's talk about some TV news, guys. Rawson Marshall Thurber to spearhead flagship Dungeons & Dragons TV series for E1. So not only is there going to be a Dungeons and Dragons movie, but I guess there's a TV series on the way for E1, whatever that is. Is that a streaming service of some kind? Yet another one of them that is probably going to fail. The indie studio has closed a deal with Red Notice filmmaker Rawson Marshall. Red Notice. So he directed Red Notice with Ryan Reynolds, The Rock, and Gal Gadot. So that's cool. So he can handle projects, big projects. Interesting. So he's going to be developing this Dungeons and Dragons. I don't think they're going to give us a logline yet. We don't want it to be just one show, so we are building out, developing a multi-pronged approach for television, a number of scripted shows and unscripted, and we hope to be taking this out to the marketplace early next year. So, that's kind of dubious, isn't it? Both scripted and unscripted. So what does that mean? Are they going to just have a TV show of people playing Dungeons and Dragons like on Twitch? I've watched a couple of those. Yeah, those can be entertaining. The D&D TV universe will complement E1's film franchise. So it will complement the film that's coming out. Okay. E1 is just a production company then. So this TV series, what's it going to be on? Will it be on Netflix? Who knows? Let me read the quote. Production on E1's untitled feature, jointly produced and financed with Paramount, recently wrapped. E1 will distribute in the UK and Canada, and Paramount in the rest of the world. Oh, E1 is Paramount's version. I'll have to make a mental note of that. Actually, guys, I'm going to have to write that down. E1 is Paramount Plus in Canada. Okay. So, guys, what do you think? Dungeons and Dragons TV series. Scripted and unscripted. From the dude who brought you Red Notice. Interesting. More TV news here. This one I don't like too much because Whoopi Goldberg is on The View. And I do tend to watch The View sometimes just to see what what older females are talking about and its take on stuff. But I guess she talked about a book being pulled from schools like To Kill a Mockingbird and something called Moss or Hoss or something about the Holocaust. And she said something that was not all that well. She said something about it not being about race or something like that. And Whoopi can put her foot in her mouth just like everybody else. Moss, that's what it's called, right? It was cited for inappropriate language and nudity. Let's be truthful about it. It's because Holocaust isn't about race, Goldberg said on The View. What? It's not about race. It's It's about man's inhumanity. Okay, well, I'm going to have to watch that clip and put some context to it. But, guys, this is something that's trending in the realm of entertainment news, so we're going to keep our eyes on it and see what's going on. I'm sure there's tons of people cashing in on this. And she apologizes, but then doubles down on the Holocaust comments. I don't want to fake apologize. You can't call this racism, she said, because it's something about people fighting each other. What the heck, Whoopi? Ugh. Oof. You know what? The Holocaust is just a topic that you guys it's best not to talk about. It's just one of those things. It'll get you into trouble, and I know you're trying to use it as a metaphor for something. Even both sides do it. They try to use it as an analogy, and just don't. What's this? Howard Hesserman, Dr. Johnny Forever, has died. Really? Let me pull that story up. Howard Hesseman, Dr. Johnny Fever on YKRP in Cincinnati, dies at 81. Wow. Rest in peace. The two-time Emmy nominee and improv veteran who also played teacher Charlie Moore on Head of the Class. 81. That's a bummer. Died of complications of colon surgery he had last summer. 81? Oh, rest in peace, dude. And lastly, in TV news, Tom Brady officially announces his retirement. Now, this was speculation over the weekend, guys, and we're only going to briefly touch on this because NFL's on the TV, and it's a huge headline. Everybody's going to be cashing in on it. It's just like the Whoopi Goldberg headlines. I'm just going to say this about Brady. You should have retired last year when you won the Super Bowl. This last year, it wasn't his fault that his team disintegrated due to injuries and whatever the hell Antonio Brown was doing. But I don't think people will that's not going to be his legacy. So all the Super Bowl wins, it's just his ability to play at his longevity and his championships. I thought he would go another year at least, but I think he can see that the younger quarterbacks like Burrow this year from Cincinnati are just taking it and running with it. They're just running with it. So, what do you guys think about that? Does the Brady news retiring sound logical? I think it does. I think it's something that had to happen. It happens eventually. If it wasn't going to be this year, it would have been next year for sure. But with that being said, guys, that's all that there is in the realm of TV news. We're going to talk about some video game news here that caught my eye before we go on and take a look at the Twitterverse. Final Fantasy VII Remake. Were you a fan of Part 1? I think when I actually do get a PlayStation, I will play it, and I hope to do some play-alongs with it because I'm a huge Final Fantasy VII fan. But Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 reveal slated for later this year. This can't be. No, I don't believe that. We haven't even heard any inklings about gameplay. The long-awaited Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, there will be more information this year if we can. So only more information doesn't mean that it's coming out. It's not going to come out this year because they're celebrating the 25th anniversary of the first game right this year. And it would make more sense if it did come out this year. More information is incredibly open-ended since there is very little officially known about this upcoming sequel to the remake, which should have been in production at the same time as the first one. It shouldn't take 6 years for Part 2 to come out, guys. That's what I'm saying. And it's got a lot of story. If Part 2 is going to be the only other part of it, then it's got a lot of story to cram in. I wish there would be a Part 2 and a Part 3 because something should happen at the end of Part 2 that just nails everybody in the stomach and going, because there's so much more you can do in Part 3. I want to fight the weapons that come out of the crater, and I want to see Cloud deal with his psychosis with Tifa helping him out. But they're going through the 25th anniversary, and if you want to read all this stuff, that's great. That's fantastic. But I just wanted to touch on that and look at the Final Fantasy VII Remake headline because it catches my eye. It's entertainment news, and that's what you get here on this channel. All right. Let's go to and finish out this day. Let's finish out the day by looking at the Twitterverse and see what's going on out there to see if there's anything else trending that we need to take a look at. New posters from the Batman. The Batman is going to be in the news all this month, guys, because it comes out in just over a month. Now, these posters are not as good as some of the previous ones, but they're ramping up the marketing campaign, and I'm guessing we're going to get a lot more posters. Are these anything that I want to put on my wall? No. But, okay, it's the Batman. Did you guys ever see the Reddit thread out there that was saying the Riddler looks like the Gimp from Pulp Fiction? Once somebody said that, it's kind of hard to not think about it once. It's not, though. It's not. Come on. He's going to be cool. First look at The Woman King, starring Viola Davis. Thusa Mebdu. Okay, so a whole bunch of people. The Woman King. What's all that about? well, we know that Viola Davis has got the intensity for, looks like it's going to be something violent. Maybe it's people trying to thwart off invaders or something like that. I'll have to take a look at that and keep my eye on that for the Woman King. Yeah. Okay, the official trailer for After Yang has been released. Now, we saw the poster for this yesterday, and I'm going to maybe do a trailer reaction for this. I didn't know that it was going to be about artificial intelligence. Basically, guys, if you're interested into that kind of story, I got hints of Ex Machina, sort of. This robot wants to be human-like. He wants to be having memories and dreams and such. So he reprograms himself a little bit, and then something happens where he goes away for a while, so that's why it's called After Yang. But it's got Colin Farrell in it, and if you like Colin Farrell, can I pull up a poster of this? There it is. Poster for After Yang. Yeah, it's got Colin Farrell. So I thought it was just about a couple that was going to try to adopt some Asian kids, but I guess it's not. The one is a robot. After Yang, it's a robot. So that'll be interesting for sure. Owen Wilson and Jennifer Lopez, Marry Me movie. So Jennifer J-Law is going back to the rom-com. I think it's a rom-com. It's got Owen Wilson, of course. It has to be, right? Netflix will release a Jennifer Lopez documentary that chronicles the year she turned 50, including her Hustlers campaign. Okay. J-Law isn't going to be in the news. Can't complain about that. Cool. J-Lo on Ben Affleck. To see the person, the human being, the man that he is today, the father that he is today, the partner that he is everything I always knew he was and wanted to be. So that's why they got back together? Oh, okay. Maybe I can make a small story out of that. A short. I've been making a lot of YouTube shorts, and I will. I'll make a short out of that. Because people like the gossipy stuff, which I'm toying around with, guys. I'm toying around with doing an evening show either on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, or Thursdays. We'll go into some of the gossipy rumor mill stuff that is not substantiated and just kind of indulge ourselves. I'm toying around with that as a possibility, and it'll be a live show as always, like these shows. It won't be little snippets. And I'm thinking about doing that, and we'll cover stuff like this. This kind of TMZ trashy stuff. Jennifer Hudson, photographed by Greg Williams. I like black and white photos. This page is slowly becoming a Vogue outlet. Kristen Stewart on her childhood crush, a balanced mix of Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet in Titanic. Yeah, she takes a good photograph. Kristen Stewart. So, Simu Liu in pink. It's not even salmon pink. What is that? Ugh. I wouldn't be caught dead in wearing that, but good for you, man. Good for you. All right, guys. I think that's going to round us out. I just see some Vogue photos, and this they usually have some breaking movie news stuff here, but when it's just Andrew Garfield taking shots of himself, then I just go, well, whatever. That's the way that it's been today in the realm of movie and entertainment news, guys. What did you think about some of the stories? Please comment below. Come join us daily, live at 12 p.m. Monday to Friday, and we'll talk about some of the headlines that you want to talk about, because that's where this is eventually going to go. You guys are going to drive the show. I'm just coming up with what I see when I go over my feeds, and I really want to try to start engaging and talking with you guys. But I'm just getting this thing going. I'm getting all of these buttons working properly, and I think it's going to work well for everybody. Now, pay attention to this afterwards, because I will do my reviews later today for Scream. I saw it last night. There you go.